Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. Knocks for Buhari over speeding congratulatory message to Biden. Silence on Lekki shooting. You see, Buhari, have you heard of the word called hypocrite? Yeah, hypocrite is a word in a dictionary where you pretend to be what you're not. It's very hypocritical. Something happened in your home. Let's leave out the main issue, which is the Lekki massacre, okay? Let's start from the protest started. And as a father, when your children are agitated, what do? What's the problem? What's going on? You speak into it, you understand what it is, and you provide solution. The Hausas will say, you close that chapter and you move on. And guess what? You'll be hailed, celebrated as a hero, marked down for what you have done, and history will have it recorded. It's a very thin line to make a mistake and to do the right thing in the heat of decision-making time. A very thin line. So Buhari speedily, less than 24 hours, has called Biden and Kamala Harris to congratulate them. Yet, in your very home, where you're supposed to be leading the country, we don't even know who is leading the country, to be very candid, because there is a lot of speculation, but we don't thrive on speculation. We try to get to the crux of the matter. We don't know who exactly is there. We don't know, because he has not addressed us in a long time. And then, like they say, within that space of time, anything could have happened. Let's get straight into the news and get all the details. Knocks for Buhari over speedy congratulatory message to Biden. Silence on Lekki shooting. That's the president you have. That's your Buhari. God have mercy. President Muhammadu Buhari has come under criticism in the social media space for speedily congratulating message to the president-elect of the United States, Joe Biden, while he has continued to wear off the responsibility of addressing Nigerians on the ugly incident of shooting of protesters at the Lekki toll gate on October the 20th. In fact, he's doing everything to push it away as though and as if it never happened. Like those lives never matter. They are not a people. They are not a person. Why focus on it? His only concern is because the world has gotten attention of what happened there. Hence, he cannot sweep it under the carpet, still trying to hide evidences. Most of the citizens who criticized Buhari on Twitter had the opinion that Buhari paid less attention to governance at home, but act promptly and quickly to make remarks on international affairs. This is not a leader. This is not somebody who is supposed to be the president of a country. Buhari, in his congratulatory message, said Biden was coming at a time of uncertainty and fears in world affairs. With your election, we look forward to greater cooperation with Nigeria and the United States, especially economic, diplomatic, and political levels, including the war against terrorism. Buhari said in a press statement issued by his media aide. He's not the one that will always do it, so don't think Buhari was there, okay? It's always Femi Adesina or Garuba Shehu. So this one was done by Femi Adesina. Remember, he was an editor in the newspapers before he became appointed to Buhari. So it's not Buhari. He wants to make face look good in the international scene. You want to go outside and clean people's house, and your house is smelling of filth. You are dying literally of death in your own house. Yet you go out and you clean people's own, it's shining, and they are praising you, are commending you. Listen, you are a failure from the start. Your election is a significant reminder that democracy is the best form of government because it offers the people the opportunity to change their government by peaceful means. He said, adding that the most powerful group are not the politicians, but the voters who can decide the fates of the politicians by the polls. The message, however, has attracted condemnation from some Nigerians who have been demanding end to police brutality, as well as pressuring Buhari's led government to answer questions on the shooting of unarmed NSAS protesters at the Lekki toll gate? Who ordered the shooting? Nobody has answered that question up until now. Who ordered it? Why were soldiers called from their barrack to come into where civilians are? Why were soldiers allowed to leave the barrack and to come into the civilian space? Who ordered it? What was the reason for that? You know, Buhari has zeroed integrity. At his age, his words never match his actions. What a waste of existence. Those are some of the comments. In a democracy, the most powerful group are not the politicians but voters who can decide the fate of the politicians at the polling vote units. These words of democracy, freedom of choice and supremacy will be the will of the people. Look who is talking. The person trying to calling all the northern governors and their emirs to sit down and talk about how to, take away the freedom of people's speech, regulate social media. It's the same person talking. Can you believe it? It's the same person talking. The same person. You are congratulating the U.S. President elected, or why uncertainty and fears rest in your own abode and domain. You are a disgrace. You are not a leader. So a lot of comments have come up. People have been talking, sending messages to Buhari. Of course, guess what? The words are not getting to Buhari. It is his media aide, the person of Garuba Shehu, who is the one, Garuba Shehu is the one who does all these things. Garuba Shehu is the one who stands to defend Buhari. Garuba Shehu is the one who is always there to make sure that Buhari's actions are not questioned. Imagine what he said. He said he was the one that wrote that speech and he covered every aspect of what he should cover. That's the country that we are in. That's a place where neglect for life, property, and people, where life of people means nothing, where the life of the civilians, of Nigerians, mean nothing. You see, there's a lot going on in this country, and we must all rise up to the truth to know that Buhari is not a leader for Nigerians, okay? He's a leader for a particular set, group, or region. And it's very clear, it's very glaring that he's a nepotist to the very core. He does not care what happens to Nigerians. What he mainly concerned about is what happens to him. You see, Buhari does not care how Nigerian can be better. Buhari does not care what happens to Nigerians. Buhari does not really care, what happens to your child, whether they go to school. As we speak, ASU is still on strike because they made some demands. And up until now, Nigerian and this government have not deemed it fit. Why? Their children don't school in this country. There's no point. If for starters, if for any reason they are schooling here, they're going to private universities, which cost a fortune. So the academic year is not disrupted and they go to school, do what they are supposed to do at the right time. Guys, leave us a comment. Bye for now.